Driving Perilously, Tuesday edition.
Now your South Florida weather on
Aw, my South Florida weather.
I'm meteorologist Lauren Oleski for CBS 12 News. It's another chilly start to our morning on this
It
Tuesday.
is another chilly start to our morning on this Tuesday morning. So last night I went to my first rehearsal for a show that I was offered a part in without auditioning because I worked with them before and because there's not enough guys in theater. And tonight I have an audition for the company that I'm currently in a production with. So that's the Tuesday morning update.
The same old hoodoo follows me about. Same old pounding in my heart whenever I think of you. And darling, I think of you.
Well, that's got to be the First Lady of Song, Miss Ella Fitzgerald, but for a minute there, I thought it was somebody else. Somebody more pop and less jazz. Let's see if that's really her. Yeah.
When I awake with a tinge
Yep.
of
There we go.
possibility in view. That possibility of maybe seeing you.
She can do anything, can't she? So glad I got to see her live in person. I wish I had seen Joe Stafford in person. They remind me of one another. They did do some things together. It's on video. I guess it was on a TV show, maybe. But they remind me of each other because they're both good female singers. But they're not really known for how they look or for their stage presence or entertainment value. They're singers, right? They're known as singers, and of course they can do other things because they're artistic people, but they're not entertainers first, they're singers first. And I don't mean they went into singing first, I mean that that's who they are. And they both changed their look throughout the decades. And Ella was certainly identifiable, but she didn't have a look. She just looked like some lady, right? And then Joe Stafford, she just looks different in her pictures. So they both seem like nice, respectable ladies who are singers as opposed to stars who sing. But anyway, that's the First Lady of Song, Ella Fitzgerald. Let's see what else we got. Sad, thinking of you. So that's the standard. It had to be You, which they play on Legends 100.3. I really fell in love with it from the film When Harry Met Sally. I saw When Harry Met Sally when I was in college, and When Harry Met Sally starts when Harry and Sally are in college. I think, yeah. I think they're driving together because they're going to the same college and they need to go home for the summer or something. I don't know. such a good movie. Castle Rock Entertainment. Meg Ryan. Was that the start of Meg Ryan's super stardom? I'm afraid Meg Ryan is not going to attain that level of stardom again, but for a hot minute she was the hottest thing in Hollywood. Playing the ditzy girl, the pretty girl, the girl next door. She kind of jumped in where Debbie Reynolds left off. And in the middle of her superstardom, where she was in Joe versus Volcano, Sleepless in Seattle, and the other huge famous one. What was it? Anyway, in the middle of her superstardom, she did a movie where she played someone in the army. She played a military woman, and the movie is told after her death. And the movie is narrated by people who are telling us about who she was, and they each have a different idea of who she was. And so she gets to play the same character in a few different ways, and she's really good, like really good. So her persona that got so famous was just one of the many things she could do as a gifted actress. And she got into trouble with her movie In the Cut. She was trying to be more serious, like she had already been, but she was trying to do it in the public eye and maintain her stardom or take her stardom to another dramatic level or something. And so the rumor was that she was with her co-star. And now that I'm so cynical, I'm like, that's exactly what you would say to try to get attention for your film, whether it's true or not. There's always the question in Hollywood if these stars are all sleeping together, or if they're not all sleeping together. Or, that's one rumor, that they all sleep together. But then the other rumor is that when you are the star, the stars always sleep together. And in the theater world, there's something called a showmance, which is generally for the duration of the show. And apparently in old Hollywood, that's what they did. But who knows? I mean, it's good publicity. And if it can stay under the radar and just bring interest as opposed to public scorn, then it's a good publicity. But with her, it was negative publicity. Not sure what the difference is. But she was really at the top of her game there for a while. And that song, It Had to Be You, is covered by lots of different people. That's a standard. So that's part of the definition. And When Harry Met Sally is when I discovered Harry Connick Jr. right next to Frank, played in the same soundtrack, and realized he was something special, and realized Frank Sinatra was something special, because I remember when he was a little too, a little too sure of himself, a little too something for my taste. But then, of course, if you listen to him over the decades, you'll have a positive opinion of him. So that's a little bit about Ella and Frank and Meg Ryan. I wonder if Meg's going to do anything else I always just think that actors should just audition for everything and do something, right? Even if they used to star in things, they should just be an actor. But a lot of actors don't. They just star in things and then you don't hear from them again unless they star in something else. But whatever, we'll see. And of course that leads me to Carrie Fisher and Billy Crystal, who were also in that movie. They market it like Carrie Fisher was just out of nowhere and she got Princess Leia role, and they act like Star Wars just came out of nowhere, but I don't know. They're too big to come out of nowhere, aren't they? I suppose they just marketed them extremely well or something. I mean, I'm a fan, so I appreciate it, but how can something get that big out of nowhere? And how can you be Hollywood royalty and come out of nowhere? And then of course we got Billy Crystal. Billy Crystal, he made fun of the Frank Sinatra era that I didn't really like Frank. And he sang like Sammy Davis and talked like Lorenzo Lamas and made fun of Edward G. Robinson and really, I don't know. I mean, impersonation is a form of flattery, but if you can't watch the Ten Commandments anymore because of Billy Crystal's imitation of Edward G. Robinson, you gotta say that that Billy Crystal did a disservice to that masterpiece. But he sure was funny. So anyway, When Harry Met Sally, It Had to Be You. Good film, good song. One of those timeless songs that can be put in a movie to make it seem classic. And that's it for this Tuesday edition of Driving Perilously, turning on the radio and talking about whatever happens. We're 2 minutes over the 10-minute mark. More than 2 minutes over the 10-minute mark. So, there you go.